Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. This week I spent $37.78 in two separate small shops. I redeemed $10 worth of Scene Points. I redeemed $10 worth of Scene Points. And of course, this week was Thanksgiving. So this week involved turkey, a lot of turkey. My recommendation would be, so we were invited to two separate meals. I did include brief little videos from those meals, but we also wanted to have our own turkey because we wanted to have the leftovers. We wanted to have turkey soup, all of those things that go with a big meal. My recommendation to you, if this is something that happens to you, is just freeze it right away. So we made a meal. We knew then we were going to be going as guests to other homes. So we just froze everything. And then getting near the end of the week, we pulled out bits and pieces of what we had froze to continue on with our own meal making. And we had some really great meals this week. Check out everything that we were able to get and to make. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. So we've got 200 grams of cheddar cheese for $1.99, but this is a specialty. Collier's Extra Mature Cheddar. I'm gonna grab one of these to try. This is a great buy on Taco Kits, $1.49. That's crazy. Strawberries, $1.47, and they are from Ontario. Flyer price, Sobeys, $1.67 a pound for frozen turkeys. And they have all kinds in here, massive big ones, the size of small ostriches, and also some medium-sized ones and some smaller ones. So great, just pick through the bin and get the size that you're looking for. 4 for $5, and that works out to $1.25 each. Oh, and there is turkey. This week, I've spent $37.26 on groceries. There's the possibility I might pick something else up, but I don't have anything specific that I need. I shopped at Sobeys, Avery's, Superstore, and a local grocery store called Sam's. So let's get started. First things first, it is Thanksgiving weekend. I grabbed one of the $1.67 a pound turkeys from Sobeys. The first time I went in there, the only options were extremely, extremely large, but that was last week, last sale flyer. They still had the turkeys on for $1.67 this flyer, and I got one that was $14.16. I think that is perfect. They had all kinds of options in the bin that you could dig through and just pick out the size that's perfect for you. I also picked up the stovetop stuffing at Sobeys. It was 4 for $5, which works out to $1.25 a package. Interestingly enough, I worked in town a lot the week before last, and it was on sale at Giant Tiger that week for 88 cents. I stopped in multiple times on my way home from work, no stovetop. They also had it on sale at Walmart and for 97 cents, and same thing, no stovetop at Walmart. And I was actually in another area last week and checked the Walmart that was in that area as well, and also the Giant Tiger that was in that area, and there was no stovetop. So $1.25 for a place that had it in stock, I'm happy with that. So 2 boxes of the stovetop. The total at Sobeys was $16.66. I also shopped at Superstore. I got grapes. You can see there's some missing. Yes, we have been picking away at these grapes. They were on for $2 a pound. That's a great deal. These are nice, and they're seedless, and they're really sweet. I really like these grapes. I paid a small fortune for them, though. They were $6.68. And I say that it was a phenomenal deal for the grapes. So $6.68 for the quantity that I bought was a really, really good deal, because it probably would have cost $20 if they weren't on sale. I'm just frugal and I don't buy grapes that often, but I'm really excited about this. It was a small grocery week, so we can stock up on things like grapes and just pick away at them until they're gone. Then I shopped at Avery's. I picked up three things. $1.48 for this chopped up red pepper. We have a plan for a meal this week that I would like some fresh red pepper to top the recipe, and so this worked out perfect. I did get two sweet potatoes. They cost $1.93. They were on sale for 77 cents a pound, and that is going to tie in somehow with Easter dinner. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, and I don't even know why I bought these cobs of corn. Peaches and cream corn, and they just had a couple bags that were already husked and marked. The price was marked $2.07, so I picked that up as well. My grand total at Avery's was $5.48. And then I shopped at the local Sam's grocer. I did include some video snips of that because the prices were almost unbelievable. It is October, and I am getting Ontario strawberries for $1.49. So I bought two packages of them. I thought those were a real fun thing to have at that price in October. Also, we had tacos last week. So kind of taco shells at least are on my mind, but this was a whole taco kit for cheaper than what I could buy shells for. So this was $1.49. So I picked up one, and it has the 12 shells, the seasoning, and it has a mild, like a hot sauce inside. So that was a great buy. These pies, again, I included a clip because it's almost unbelievable. These are Sara Lee pies. They are apple streusel pies. They need to be cooked, and they were on for 99 cents a piece. So I got two pies for $1.98. And then this cheese, I'm very interested in this cheese, actually. I feel now that I should have gotten more. We'll save this for something like cheese and crackers charcuterie tray, because this is a powerful extra mature cheddar that was on for $1.99, 200 grams. My grand total at Sam's was $8.44. So you can be frugal. Like, do I really need grapes and two packages of stovetop and two things of strawberries and two pies and two sweet potatoes? I could have gotten a lot more groceries if I would have allocated the money to different ways that weren't this stuff. Well, and I say that I could have gotten different groceries. I don't think I could have gotten a lot more groceries. The value that I got for some of these items was so good that, I mean, there's not a lot that you can buy for $1.98. There's just not. There's not a lot of fresh fruit that you can buy for $2.98. And I feel like I'm happy with this stuff. This was a good week. Smoothies for lunch today. This is just a quick lunch. The handsome one, I'm on vacation, yay, for a day today. And the handsome one has a medical appointment, but we want to make sure that we eat before we leave so that we're not hungry when we're running errands in town and end up eating and buying, recklessly buying, because that is definitely a thing with me. So smoothies for lunch. The consistency of these ones is much better than the last couple smoothies I made. They were really thick. They had a lot of ingredients in them. I like this better. The tail end of the hurricane is supposed to hit us tomorrow, Sunday, Monday. I'm a little unclear of the exact timing, but this weekend for sure. So I pulled in some more of the tomatoes. There's still lots of green tomatoes out there, but I pulled these in. There's a few that need to sit in the window ledge to ripen, but there's still quite a bit more out there. These are the two little pumpkins that we grew this year. We've never grown pumpkins before, so it's exciting. The one of these is about the size of a tennis ball, and the other one is about the size of a softball. So obviously they're just going to be decorations, but it was exciting for us to actually get a pumpkin, to actually get something. I'm getting ready to make a nacho dip, taco dip. We are going to use sour cream and cream cheese mixed together. That's half a brick. And the taco meat and peppers. I'm going to dice up some onions, and also use some cheese. The spread is in. Now I'm going to add the salsa. Salsa's on, and now the taco meat. Ground beef is done. I am going to use a blend of cheddar and Monterey Jack jalapeno to top this, and then on top of that will be the peppers. Taco dip, which we are going to serve with nachos, and I just realized I forgot to put on the guacamole. How annoying. So I will set that on the side just in case we want to dip into it. Dip, tortilla chips, and guacamole. Very exciting supper. And this was leftover taco meat from tacos that we had last night for supper. We're getting the turkey in the slow cooker. We are going to add sage. This bottom one is summer savory, poultry seasoning. We are going to have this for supper tonight. Pretty excited. And I normally just make stovetop stuffing or a rice dressing. I've never actually made bread dressing inside turkey before, so I'm going to try my hand at it. We'll see how this turns out. This is all of the dried pieces that I cut off of the rolls when we were making them as like hamburger buns and chicken burger buns last week. Plus there was one roll left. I am going to add these 2 apples diced up. I'm going to add sage and some other savory kind of spices, and I'm going to just stuff this in the bird. Some of this is like fresh bread, but then some of it is dried out pieces, more like breadcrumbs or croutons. So we're just going to get those right in there. This is the celery that I grew in the garden earlier this year. I'm definitely going to add this in, so this will be great inside the dressing. I have a spice blend that I'm going to try. I'm excited about this. Apple is diced. I've added an onion. Let's get this all mixed up with the seasoning. I also found 3 random hot dog buns in the back of the fridge. They're going in it too. I had to switch to a bigger bowl because I was making a mess. That was before the hot dog buns went in. I am just kind of mixing this up. I have no big plan. I've never done this before, and I am just going to stuff this right inside of the turkey. I also added some summer savory and poultry seasoning. Let's get this mixed in too. So I'm making a little bit of a mess here, but I'm just literally stuffing this inside the turkey. This is stuffed pretty full. I made a bit of a mess. I don't know what I'm doing. I own that. I have no idea if this is going to shrink down with the cooking, but I actually have some left. So I'm just going to put a lid on this right now. And as this cooks, try to jam that into the bird. And if not, I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag and pop it in the freezer for the next time I make a chicken. I'm grabbing this, throwing it in my purse. I'm off to run errands. It's pushing on lunchtime. If I don't have something like this, I'm going to make bad choices when I'm in town. These are some interesting hummus that I've never seen before. An avocado hummus and a dill pickle hummus. And these are on sale right now for $3.99. And the packages are... I don't see the size. They are... Unknown what size these are. Adding 3 more items into the grocery budget, but only adding 52 cents because I redeemed Scene points to get these. I'm thinking of making some cranberry sauce, and I have frozen cranberries in the freezer, a couple different kinds, but my cranberry sauce recipe calls for orange juice. I didn't want to buy a big jar. I don't need tons. I just got this little personal size for $1.25. Ice cream. I mean, it is Thanksgiving weekend, so perhaps we might be having some sweets. Ice cream for $4.99. And then I couldn't resist this little dill pickle hummus. This was $3.99. You can see here, $1.25, $4.99, and $3.99. Oh yes, 10-cent deposit on the individual serving of juice. And you can see here that I saved $10, which brought the total to 52 cents. Leftover nacho dip for lunch today, and we're just having a really light, I doubt we'll eat this whole amount, just a light lunch because we're having a really big turkey dinner for supper. So yummy. It's looking good. I don't want to take the lid off, but you can see the stuffing right there. Looking great. I'm making scalloped potatoes to go with the turkey dinner, and you may think that is an odd choice. However, we are invited to 2 other meals this weekend. So tomorrow, we're going to one of the kids' house, and Monday, we're going to the Handsome One's parents' house. So I know there's going to be mashed potatoes at all of those places. So just to give us a little bit of variety, we are having potatoes with our turkey, but I figured I'd make a scallop potato. So I've got everything sliced. And this is just a small loaf pan size serving. And I am going to mix some kind of cream of soup with milk and some water, and we'll get this in the oven right away. All right, let's get this on. Okay, it's pretty good. I am going to scoop the dressing out of the turkey here. I'm going to place it in here, put it in the oven to start baking and get crispy. So I pulled all of the stuffing out. It was pretty wet from the broth from the turkey. So what I did is I mixed it with the dry extras that I had left over, added a little more broth, and now I am going to put this in the oven and we are going to bake this. I took this out to test it. Of course, my test is, how hard do I need to push the knife down, and are the potatoes all the way cooked? This is good. The middle was a little bit. This is good. Very good. This looks great. I've got a partial bag of this kind of cranberries, and then I've got a partial bag of this kind. I don't really think that I need to use both of these. I think I'm just going to use up this bag right here and save those for something else. We're going to add in 1 cup of sugar and a cup of orange juice. Everything together here, and so you just bring this to a boil until the cranberries start popping and cooking down, and then it'll be done. I'm going to put it in some jars. There should be enough for our dinner today, and perhaps even to take with some of the other meals we're going to. We'll see. This is boiling good now. Maybe a little bit too hard. I'd like to get this down to a lighter simmer. It's starting to thicken now. The cranberries are starting to burst. It's actually a really, really quick process to make homemade cranberry sauce. Very, very easy. And just like that. And the one on the right, so not quite full, is the one that we're going to use for the meal today. And these two we will save. Yay. And we're going to make some gravy. That was just a mixture of flour and water poured into boiling broth. I did add a little extra summer savory into the gravy, but there's lots of spices, herbs in it from where I took it out of the turkey. These look amazing. We've got scalloped potatoes. So we'll go clockwise. Scalloped potatoes, homemade stuffing, carrots, cranberry sauce homemade, turkey, and peas. So this is awesome. And the handsome one's going to put on his plate mustard pickles as well. 'Tis the season. Let's have a special coffee this morning. Pumpkin spice topped with gingerbread. Pretty frothy. And when you froth this oat pumpkin creamer, the smell is amazing. Yesterday, I made a turkey dinner. Today, we are going for a Thanksgiving dinner as guests. And tomorrow, we're also going for Thanksgiving dinner as guests. So I want to make something for lunch today that is totally different than anything Thanksgiving. In here, I have one leftover cabbage roll from supper that we had last week. I have still some taco meat left over. This is leftover tomato paste. In here from the garden, I have some onions and peppers. I'm going to make a little bit, just using up all of these leftovers, and we're going to make a tomato-based soup. And yeah, it's going to be good. I've got the tomato paste in there, and I'm just going to add one little thing of water there, mix this in. I added in a beef bouillon cube. Now we're going to add in the taco leftovers. Maybe. I'm going to need to use the spoon. This is looking good. And these are onions from the garden. Let's cut those up and get them in there. Onions are in. I've cut up the cabbage roll that was left, so let's get that in. Again, I'm going to need a spoon. More water. This was a cabbage that I got in a flash food box a while back. I'm going to just cut this, dice it. Okay, this is looking good, and now we're just going to let this cook down. I'm going to add in 3 tomatoes from our garden. And this is really starting to look great. I added oregano. I don't think I'm going to add any more spices in there. That's a staple, oregano, in the cabbage rolls. I might add a little more taco seasoning. This didn't take very long at all. This looks amazing. I'm so excited. Yum. This looks amazing, and I have garnished it with parsley that I dried myself. Yum. This is the first meal we were invited to, and I got the approval to take a little video. We are having sweet mashed potatoes, carrots. We are having grilled pineapple, Brussels sprouts, gravy, stuffing, creamed corn, chicken, and a ham is coming out shortly. This is the ham that they smoked in their smoker. Today we are invited to our second Thanksgiving meal away from the house. I've been asked to bring squash, so you can see this here. I'm prepping it in the oven. I have saved out all of the seeds. I've given them a wash. There's a little bit of residue there. And this is not good eating squash, but I am saving this. This is the residue that was around all of the seeds. I'm going to freeze it. And when I make the broth from the turkey bones, I am going to add this in, and this will make a nice addition to the flavor of the broth. I have parchment paper here. Spread the seeds out. We're going to bake these. I'm going to think of some kind of something seasoning to sprinkle on them. This is an older ancho lime. It's kind of like a barbecue, a little bit of a hotter spice. I've got that sprinkled on here, and so let's see how these turn out. We'll get this right in the freezer. Squash guts for broth. Because we are invited to another Thanksgiving dinner today, we are keeping our lunch totally different again. So this is more of that cabbage soup that I made yesterday. It was really actually quite delicious. I'm excited, and we'll have that for lunch again today. I added brown sugar and butter to the squash when I put it in the oven to bake, but when it was done, I added more butter and more brown sugar. I'm just scooping it into a oven reheatable container to take with us to the meal. I'll cover this with tin foil just before we're getting ready to leave, and it'll be ready just to go straight into the oven when we arrive. Roasted squash seeds. Meal number 2, we've got turkey, mashed potatoes, squash, gravy, dressing, peas, carrot and turnip mashed. There is enough of this soup left for me today. The handsome one's just going to scrounge leftovers out of the fridge. There's lots of other things that he can choose from. I'm getting ingredients together in the bread maker. I'm using my preferred recipe, the honey grain, and I'm going to make dough, and I'm going to use the dough to make rolls. The loaf recipe is giving me 9 rolls. I've got them in the pan. I'm going to cover them up and let them rise before we get them in the oven to bake. For supper tonight, we're having leftovers. So we have turkey, we have the bread dressing that I made, we have carrots and peas, and we have scalloped potatoes, but we also have squash because there was leftover squash from when I took it to the meal yesterday. So we've got all kinds of stuff. Better eat this stuff up now before starting anything new. So we have squash, peas, scalloped potatoes, carrots, turkey, bread dressing, and homemade cranberry sauce. Looking real good. Turkey dinner, take 2. Cheese, grapes, and strawberries. I am going to make hot turkey burgers or sandwiches for supper tonight. We're going to use these rolls that I made. I'm going to make home fries, and of course we have leftover turkey, and I'm making the gravy. It's going to be great. All right, let's get some gravy on the turkey. The peas just finished. This is looking really good. These look amazing. Super excited. I love a good hot turkey burger or sandwich, whatever you call it. We have the last of the first bottle of the homemade cranberry sauce. Looks delicious. I am ready to make the broth and make the turkey soup. I have already heated the bones and residue because I wanted to pull off. I needed it to melt. I wanted to pull off some of the broth I needed to make a gravy tonight for supper. And now I'm going to pop this. This is the guts from the squash. This will just flavor the broth. I'm going to put that right in the pot as well. And this will cook in with that, giving it a real nice flavor. The broth turned out great. Normally it doesn't have quite this deep of a color. This is from the squash that I added into it. Yes, I'm really excited, and I'm still draining a little bit more. This is all the bones and the scraps, and when this cools down, I will pick out the meat to go back in the soup. We are going to add some carrots into the soup. First, we added in the carrots. We had leftover peas from supper last night, so I threw those in. This is dehydrated celery that I grew in the garden this year, so add some of that in. I'm going to add onions. I'm going to add in the last of the spinach. This seems like a great way to use this up. This is just looking better and better. Let's bring this to a boil now. And I'll go through the fridge and see if there's anything else I want to add in. I might add a little bit of cabbage into this as well. I love a good soup. Really looking forward to this turkey soup. And we are having toasted rolls with butter to go with it. Yum. For supper tonight, we are going to have sausages, corn, and this is 3 cobs of corn, so we're each going to have 1.5. And we are going to have Brussels sprouts. Exciting, totally different than any of the Thanksgiving stuff. Just a small amount of Brussels sprouts for the side, which gives us enough left for a small amount for another meal. We're getting ready to put the sausages on the grill. Water is calm. It's the nicest day that we've had in a really long time. This looks great, very exciting, smells really good, can't wait to eat. The week has been quite a whirlwind. That's what happens when you have a holiday attached to a weekend. So it gives you a short week. Everybody's busy. You're trying to see all of the family and the relatives. So we had our turkey dinner here ourselves. It was just us, just the 2 of us. And of course, the 2 little dogs, they got to have turkey dinner as well. And then the next day was a ham dinner, so that was really good. That was different. And then the next day it was turkey dinner again, but the fixings were different. And then we were back here having some of our own turkey again and some leftovers. And then, of course, we had 2 meals that didn't involve turkey dinner or big holiday dinners at all. The first of the week and the last of the week. We had a really great time. I hope you guys really did have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you would do so. It would help me. I love all comments, so don't forget to leave your comments.